From your local election headquarters, here's Fred Childers with This Week in Louisiana Politics.
Good Sunday morning to you. I'm Fred Childers. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Politics on your local election headquarters. All right, let's get going. A panel of 3 judges tossed out the congressional map the legislature had passed, which created a second majority-minority district. Now there is a lot up in the air about how a map will be put into place in time for that fall election. Capitol reporter Shannon Hecht reports.
Now that 3 panel of judges says that the newly passed congressional map is unconstitutional, there's a big question of what happens next. The biggest thing is that the Secretary of State says that she needs a map in place by May 15th in order to get ready for the election this fall. The map that created the second majority-minority district created a district that stretched from Baton Rouge to Shreveport along the rivers. The court ruled that it was racially gerrymandered, and the plaintiffs in the case are now appealing the ruling to the Supreme Court. While they didn't pick this map supported by the GOP, they believe there are still other ways to get a second black district.
The court never even got close to addressing the issue of whether Louisiana should have 2 majority black districts. I think that's been resolved, that's been settled, that is understood by all parties to the case.
The district was said to be drawn based on political reasons to protect Representatives Steve Scalise, Mike Johnson, and Julia Letlow. Some believe it was targeted at Representative Garrett Graves to draw his support out of his district. State Senator Cleo Fields, who already announced he would be running for the new seat, says he is not discouraged.
Let the Supreme Court decide whether or not what we did was a racial gerrymander or not. And if they choose that take the position that it was, then they need to give us not directions, give us a plan.
There are some options for a temporary map being put in place, with the court drawing its own, or a map from the plaintiffs being selected. There will be a status hearing on Monday in Shreveport where we will hear the next steps for this case. At the Capitol for your local election headquarters, I'm Shannon Hecht.
After Governor Jeff Landry turned down the federal assistance to give needy families a summer EBT card to ensure children get lunch when they're out of school, the legislature has reversed the move and put money towards it in the budget. The $3.6 million is now in the operating budget after DCFS said they would not be able to implement the program until the end of the year. Lawmakers called them out on it, stating they had been running the program for 2 years already. Now DCFS says they will be able to roll out the cards at the start of June. Governor Landry is making his push to make what he is calling reforms to the state constitution, but some legislators and advocates are fearful that those reforms will lead to sweeping changes. Landry said in a press conference an example of what he wants to do is open up the protected pots of money to help address the budget shortfall next year. One of the goals of the so-called limited convention would be to put parts of the Constitution in a place where the legislature can change it without a vote on the ballot.
The timing, unfortunately, is rushed because we want the most amount of people in this state to have a say in the work that they do. The process allows us to ensure that some of the sacrosanct things that the people of this state want and demand in their Constitution remain in their Constitution.
The convention is on a tight 2-week timeline in the current plan. Legislators in both chambers still need to vote on the framework.